Police in New York State say they won't stop until they've caught two killers who escaped from a maximum security prison last weekend. Hundreds of officers are engaged in the manhunt. The focus has now turned to the state of Vermont, where officials believe the convicts may have fled. New York State police are asking the public for tips and warning them to remain vigilant. The two convicts, Richard Matt and David Sweat, are considered extremely dangerous. They were reported missing from the Clinton Correctional Facility in New York early Saturday morning. Now, that's about 40 kilometers from the Canadian border. Police forces in New York and Vermont are now coordinating. Today, we heard from the governors of both states.
This is no time to panic. It's a time to be sensible. If you see suspicious people, don't go near them. Call law enforcement. Lock your doors. Make sure that you're being vigilant. And let's work together to get these two dangerous men locked up once again.
We need to find these escapees. They are dangerous men. They are killers. They are murderers. There's no reason to believe they wouldn't do it again. They're going to be more desperate than ever. So we're doing everything we can. It's a top priority to find them and to bring them back.
Stephen D'Souza is in New York, and he's been monitoring this story all day. And Stephen, as I was watching the news conference, I kept thinking, I'm getting a real mixed message here. On the one hand, the governors are being really reassuring. On the other hand, it's clear they don't know where these guys are, and these guys remain very dangerous.
That's right. At one point, Nancy, during that news conference, one of the officials admitted they have no idea where these guys are. And we saw in the last few days that they were focusing on a town called Willsboro, which is just south of where the correctional facility is. And that's where they had focused a lot of their attention because of a tip where somebody called in saying that they had seen two men that they didn't recognize walking in the pouring rain, not dressed for the conditions. But now we're learning, and they're announcing today, that they're really shifting the focus of the search to the border of Vermont and Lake Champlain, which is just to the east of the correctional facility, just about 15 miles. But this lake stretches about 200 kilometers, and so that's quite an area. And the reason that they're refocusing their search on Vermont is because they've come up with some new information which suggests that the two escaped convicts, before they escaped, were discussing amongst themselves about going to Vermont, saying that New York would be too hot and Vermont would be cooler in terms of police pressure. And so they're not really giving us information as to how they got that tip or where that information came from. They're being a bit vague about that. We do know that they have 450 officers on the ground. They're receiving more than 500 tips. And so New York State Police as well as Vermont Police are working together right now to comb those vast and sometimes uninhabited areas, trying to find these two convicted murderers.
Now, Stephen, the U.S. media have been talking a lot about one person in particular, Joyce Mitchell, and her links or alleged links to all of this. What can you tell us about her?
Well, today, the head of the New York State Police in the news conference said that Joyce Mitchell, or an employee, he didn't name her specifically, but an employee at the correctional facility, had befriended the men and may have had a role in their escape. And there's a lot of speculation as to how much of a role that she had. There's some speculation in the media that she was going to be the getaway driver, that when they emerged from that sewer outside of the prison, that she was going to be waiting for them, but that she changed her mind at the last minute. None of that's confirmed, all speculation, but we do know that she did end up in hospital on Saturday, and her son is speaking out saying that she has nothing to do with this, and that the hospitalization was because she's just really a nervous person. Let's hear from her son now.
She's not the kind of person that's going to risk her life or other people's lives to let these guys escape from prison. She was, in fact, in the hospital that evening. I don't know the exact details. I just know that she was having severe chest pains.
So far, no one has been charged, no one's in custody, and they say that Joyce Mitchell is cooperating with investigators as the search continues. And Nancy, authorities are saying that they want people in the area to be vigilant, to be on the lookout, but they don't want them out actually searching for these two individuals because they are very dangerous.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephen.